I don't know. This is bad. I have not seen the leftist media get this angry at one of their icons. My goodness. I mean, there's obvious stuff like what was the guy up in New York who had the problem, showing pictures of himself? Anthony Weiner. I mean, that's obvious idiot stuff. But I mean, a major icon. When's the last time you saw the press turn on somebody? And her answers today were horrible. There's absolutely no evidence whatsoever exonerating you. Nothing. You got rid of it. What can we go on?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But the thing that really has been shocking is the reaction from the media. I mean, the thing that to me has been just so amazing. It has been everybody saying, "What's the deal with this? How was this allowed to go on?" Leslie, I know you brought up that I'm sorry, it was Ryan who brought it up, the article from GeekWire pointing out how big a security concern this was. It's something that it's not just that it looks hinky, it looks really, like something bad was going on. I mean, clearly it looks so all kinds of sketchy. But at the same time was dangerous. I mean, there's no way that her personal server. This isn't just some random person. This is the Secretary of State. Her email address, her email server, and her staff. Their emails, because they were also on her server. They had emails on her server. All of these emails they were on a server that did not have the same kind of protection, the same kind of minds behind it that the U.S. government has. So this was a security breach for a huge segment of our government. It's something that's really really bad.
She's assuming and implying that server is physically located in her home in Chappaqua, or however you pronounce that. But the Secret Service isn't always there dedicated to protect that building, and even if they are physically protecting the server from armed bandits coming in and stealing it, that's not really the worst concern. The concern is that Chinese hackers are coming in over the internet wires, and the Secret Service isn't going to see that. The Secret Service is not an army of data security professionals watching every bit that comes across that server to determine whether it's a threat or not. The security implications of this are huge.
So the article points out that the most talented hackers in the world are employed by governments. Governments have all the resources and all the incentive to do it, especially China and Russia, who are kind of our enemies right now. They also point out that the top 3 targets in the world are the President of the United States, Secretary of Defense, and Secretary of State. They have all sorts of information that would be important for other governments and for terrorist groups and things like that. And so they're the highest. I mean, every major government in the world is hiring all the best people they can to try to hack into those 3 people's emails specifically. So for her to just run her own private server, guaranteed it has been hacked. Russia and China have seen every one of her emails, regardless of what it's about.
And how much power will they have over her if she becomes president? So those who have her emails are going to be donating like crazy to the Clinton Foundation, and they're going to be donating like crazy to get her elected, because that's how they buy influence and buy control of the United States of America. The security risk of this thing, and the fact that the woman who risked our security for 4 years straight is now asking us to promote her to president, and that she would be in that position of power for another 4 years, that's deeply frightening to me.
TX Brass, Peter Ream from the Free Radical Network shared a link with us that was really interesting, I think, about how we need to talk about this issue and how we need to realize that the Clintons are masters of jujitsu. If there's anyone who can take something that looks, like it is the final nail in the coffin, and flip it over and start impaling people with a plank with a nail in it, it's the Clintons. So this article from Rick Wilson that I'll put in the chat in just a second, it's very interesting with the way that it just sort of outlines the strategy for the conservative movement to kind of talk about these issues no matter how bad it gets, to not go and spike the football too much, too hard just yet. We need to still find out all of the information, make sure that we drag this on.
Well, yeah, because the investigation so far has been very political, right versus left, Hillary versus the institution, the old Clintons and all of the scandals and all that kind of thing. But we really haven't yet gotten into the security implications of it. Nobody's been asking, and who was your email system administrator? And can we talk to him about the security precautions that he took? Can we interview him? Nobody's even been asking those questions yet. We haven't gotten to that point with it, and we need to. And that's what takes it beyond a left versus right political candidate kind of thing, I think.
Well, here's what Rick Wilson says in the article that I thought was really key. Let's try something new, he says. Maintain message discipline, hold focus, and keep an eye on a bigger objective than your daily press release, social media hits, or email fundraising drops. This is about her, not us. So unless GOP elected and opinion leaders are smart and subtle and execute with the right timing and tone, she wins. Try for once to play the long game and help Hillary Clinton take on water. He says focus instead on the grave national security risks that her amateur hour email server shenanigan posed. And more broadly, what this says about the Clinton culture. Her team can yammer on about the legality of it all, her motivations or the traffic content, but the moment this becomes about the Chinese, Iranians, Russians, or even just random hackers reading the emails, classified or not, of the Secretary of State, it's a new ball game. It's not enough to say all these people could have seen it. You have to say, how do we know that they haven't?
Right. We don't know that they didn't. We don't know what was in her emails. We don't know that she wasn't divulging top secret information to the Chinese. We don't know that she wasn't. And
Somebody
we'll
get
never know.
Rumsfeld in here.
Yeah. These are known unknowns.
The word divulging isn't even necessary. How do we know that they didn't just obtain this stuff? Isn't it telling that Hillary Clinton and company are more afraid of FOIA requests than they are of international espionage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine having to put that many thousands of dollars a year into healthcare that you know you have to put in there. And if anything goes wrong, if any of the cards that you have built this financial structure on is the least bit slippery or bent, the whole thing comes tumbling down.